Welcome to the Chop Seat, where Braves country meets the big leagues. Your host Vic is here to break down everything from truest part to the top of the standings across the league. From walk-offs to wild trades, this is your seat for everything baseball, but a heavy dose of chop. So grab your glove and settle in, because the Chop Seat is open.
Welcome to the Chop Seat, your favorite place for Braves, baseball, and the rest of the league. I'm your host, Vic, and today is Monday, June 30th. We're going to catch up with the action from the weekend. We're going to see how our Braves did. Not too good. That's for starters, and we're going to see who they're going to face next in the final segment, which is called the Braves Forecast. But again, I hope you guys had a great weekend. It was nice up here where I'm at in the Northeast, in Connecticut to be exact. I hope you guys had a good one. And, hopefully your teams was able to get some W's and win their respective series. So that's enough for a little intro. We're going to get right into the action with our first segment.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes, where we catch up with the previous Braves series. And Tomahawk Takes is brought to you by SeatGeek. You can see the code below. Use code CHOPSEAT for $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek. Use code CHOPSEAT for $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek. And a little birdie told me, if you already used the code CHOPSEAT, you might be able to use a different email and use code CHOPSEAT. Save yourself another $20 off your first purchase. Listen, you save $20, man. You get yourself a hot dog, what they call it nowadays, a glizzy. Get yourself a glizzy and a drink, $20 in your pocket. You're able to spend on that when you use code CHOPSEAT. So there you guys have it. Let's get into it. Let's get into the Tomahawk Takes segment. It was a series against the now NL East leading Philadelphia Phillies. And it was a loser of a series for the Braves. They lose 2 out of 3 in this one. The first game, we're not going to talk too much about it. It was disgusting. It was absolutely terrible. And the worst part of it is that I actually sat there. This is how bad I am as a fan. I actually sat there and took this entire game, most of the game. I think I knocked out like in the 7th inning. But if I wasn't tired from work earlier that day, I would have stayed and watched the whole game. That's just how I am. You got to watch the whole game sometimes, man. You got to watch the whole game. It was a 13-0 L for the Braves. They got shellacked. They got destroyed. They got pounded. Whatever you want to my bad. Whatever you want to use, whatever word you want to use, that's what happened in game 1. It was a game started by Bryce Elder for the Braves. He went 2 innings, 8 hits, 10 runs. 9 of those were earned, 4 walks, 2 Ks. He gave up 3 homers. The Phillies, they ended up hitting 5 homers in this one. That's the season high for them this year. And it was supposed to be Mick Abel starting for the Phillies, but there was about a 2.5 hour rain delay. So he ended up being scratched, and it was Tanner Banks that ended up starting for the Phillies. He went 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 2 Ks. Pretty little solid opening performance by him. Pretty much was used as an opener. He did what he was supposed to do, which is keep the Braves bats dead, which is kind of easy to do this year, unfortunately. But it's just, Bryce. What's funny is the when I saw the first pitch, the first at bat, Trey Turner, he hits one deep to left field, bounce off the wall, got himself a double. It was either double or triple. I can't even remember. So many hits that day. I think it was a double though. When I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, this is the Bryce Elder that we're getting. You never know what kind of Bryce Elder you're gonna get. You saw him the other day when he went 8 innings and he was masterful. That's a rare sighting to get from Bryce Elder. But then you have this performance that he just had. It's like there's never a happy medium with the guy. He did have maybe like a 2-3 start streak where he was pretty decent. But now it looks like he's regressed. He's going back to the Jekyll and Hyde Bryce Elder that we're used to seeing. And, bro, it's just – but then again, you have no one else right now. You have no one else. So you literally got Didier Fuentes, a rookie, 20-year-old kid in the rotation right now. So if you were to get, send Elder back down, who else are you going to have come up to take that spot? You really don't have anyone right now that's going to give you a decent performance. So it is what it is. You got to take it as it comes. Pause. And just keep moving forward, man. Just keep moving forward. But again, like I said, the Phillies, they had 5 homers in this game. Nicholas Castellanos, he had a 3-run homer in this one. Otto Kemp, I believe this was his first homer of his career. He had a 3-run shot also. Trey Turner, he had himself a game, man. He had 2 solo shots in this one. Kyle Schwarber, he ended up hitting homer number 25 for him in the season. That's pretty much how game 1 went. The bats were dead. Like I said, Braves didn't score nothing. It's 13-0 victory for the Phillies. Game 2, though, the Braves, they bounced back. They win this one 6-1. It was a game started by Jesus Luzardo. He went 5 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs. Both of those earned 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. He took the L in this one. He's now 7-4 with a 4.06 ERA. For the Braves, it was a stopper, baby. Our stoppers. Spencer Schwellenbach, this kid is phenomenal. He went 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. That was earned, 1 walk, just 1 walk and 12 Ks. He got the W. He's now 7-4 with a 3.09 ERA. This dude, man, you know what I love about this dude? He barely walks. Look at that. He had 1 walk in this game, 12 strikeouts. He's coming at you, bro. He's not trying to nibble. And if you see him walking, guys, you know he's off that day. And he had a few starts like that in the beginning of the season, but he is back to, how he was pitching, pretty much from last year. This dude's going after guys. He's not playing around. He's always in the zone. And again, 12 strikeout performance from him. This guy really has become our stopper, man. When you need a W, Spencer Schwellenbach's on the mound. These guys do their thing, and they're able to win the game. He was dominant once again. The action started for the Braves early in the bottom of the first inning. They took an early lead on an Austin Riley RBI single. It was an infield single. That made it 1-0 Braves. And then in the bottom of the second, my boy, Nick Allen with Eli White on third and Stuart Fairchild on second. He lines one on a full count. He lines one to left field. Eli White scores. Stuart Fairchild, he's sent to home by Freddie Gonzalez. Third base goes Freddie Gonzalez. He's gunned out by a mile. I didn't get that one. I know you got to be aggressive sometimes, but, dude, you got Ronald Acuna coming up next. It's not like you got a bum that's coming to hit next, and you're like, all right, we got to be aggressive because we're probably not going to score this run. You pretty much your best hitter coming up next in Ronald Acuna. That would have been first and third for Acuna. Now it's just run on first. I think Acuna walked after that. But, again, that changes the at-bat. That changes the perspective of the at-bat. Thankfully, it didn't come back to bite us in the game. But again, that made it 2-0. You could have done some more damage there. But, that rally was kind of killed by that move there. We go to the top of the 6th. Alec Bohm, he drives in Brandon Marsh with a single. That cuts the lead in half, 2-1 Braves. And then on the bottom of the 7th, man, this is where we had a big inning. It was Jordan Romano. He came in for Joe Ross. Joe Ross was doing his thing. I'm surprised to see Joe Ross is still in the league, man. This dude, he's been in the league for a minute now, man. So that's good to see from him. He got Jordan Romano. He got Matt Olson to fly out for the first out, but then Ozuna, Riley, and Albies, they all single. They load up the bases. Guess who's coming? It's our boy Sean Murphy. He takes a first pitch hanging slider, bro. It was middle. It was right there, bro. Like, you could have missed that one. I could have missed it because I'm trash. But if you're a pro like these guys, you're probably not gonna miss that one. He got all of it. 455 feet to left field for a grand slam. That made it 6-1 Braves. And that's all she wrote. That was pretty much the ballgame. And it was funny because on the MLB on Fox broadcast, right before he hits the grand slam, they were saying that the Braves didn't have a grand slam yet to the year. I think they said there was a graphic. I think there were 1 out of 7 teams to not have a grand slam so far. It was either 1 out of 7 or 1 out of 4 teams to not have a grand slam this year thus far. And then right there, as soon as the commentator says that, first pitch is thrown, Sean Murphy sends it out to left field. Grand salami time. So, again, 6-1 victory for the Braves. And you were starting to think in this ball game, again, the same thing that you, as a Braves fan, you're thinking the same thing. We've had all these golden opportunities, and these guys can't drive in these runs. Runners left in scoring position is the theme of the season, man. But thankfully, Sean Murphy, he came up clutch in this one. They were able to win that ball game. Then we go out to game 3. It was Ranger Suarez, man. Ranger Suarez is like, this dude is unhittable. I said it in the last episode. I always say it. The Braves cannot hit this guy. This guy turns into peak Tom Glavine, peak, I don't know, CC Sabathia. You can't touch this guy. The Braves cannot touch him. And here you'll see why. He went 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. That was earned, 1 walk, just 1 walk. And he had 8 Ks. He got the W. He's now 7-2. He has a 2 flat ERA. And for the Braves, it was Spencer Strider. He didn't pitch that bad either. He really didn't pitch bad. He just had that 1 bad inning in the top of the 5th, but he went 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. Both of those earned 3 walks, 4 Ks. He took the L in this one. He's now 3-6 with a 3.86 ERA. Dylan Lee came in the game in relief, and so did Rice Iglesias. They were just fine in relief. They did their thing. No runs allowed. And then the top of the 5th, like I said, well, before the top of the 5th, in the bottom of the 2nd, the Braves, they came out to an early lead thanks to who again? Sean Murphy. He hits a solo shot to dead center, 451 feet for this one. That made it 1-0 Braves. And I saw a graphic, another graphic. It's a weekend of graphics. I saw that he was the first player ever to hit back-to-back 450 feet plus shots. So, again, the game before Saturday, he hit that one for 455 feet for the Grand Slam. Sunday's game, he hit the solo shot for 451 feet. So that gave the Braves the 1-0 lead. But in the top of the 5th, the Phillies, they tie it, and then they take the lead. They tie it on an RBI double by Otto Kemp, and then a sac fly by Trey Turner. That made it 2-1 Phillies. And that was pretty much it for the ball game, guys. There wasn't any more action offensively. That's the way the game ended. Bottom of the 9th, the Braves, they had a chance. They had a nice chance to, be able to tie the game or even walk it off. It was this how it went down. Ozzie Albies, he gets on with a 1-out single, and then Sean Murphy, he flies out. That was the second out of the inning. You have Eli White come up. He ends up working a walk, and the ball 4, it was a wild pitch. It got under JT Realmuto. The ball, he couldn't find the ball. It went to the backside. He couldn't find it anywhere. He lost the ball. So Ozzie, he's able to go to third. Instead of staying at second, he's able to go to third. Now you got first and third with 2 outs. But here's the problem. This is the problem. You have Stuart Fairchild coming into bat. And we know Fairchild, respectfully, he's not a great hitter. We could just put it that way. He did put a charge into this, though. He hit it deep to right center field. It got to the warning track, but Brandon Marsh was there. He makes a catch. That's out number 3. That's the ball game. So that's how the Braves lost 2 out of 3. And a very special note, Michael Harris II, he was actually benched for the 2 games, the game on Saturday and the game on Sunday. We've seen that he's been really, really struggling terrible at bats he's been putting together. I saw, here we go, another graphic. Thanks for the graphic, guys. I saw a stat. He did not draw a single walk for the month of June. Not a single walk for the month of June. I think he went down in 3 pitches, struck out in 3 pitches 22 times. So talk about either just chasing everything or just, he's off, man. He's really off. I don't know if it's he can't see the ball. I don't know if he needs some glasses or something. Bro, so get some contacts, get some sports goggles. If you can't see the ball, that's what you're going to have to do. I love the guy. He plays with great energy, especially on defense, man. This kid has a tremendous glove, tremendous range. You always see night after night, he makes tremendous plays out there. He saves you lots of runs in the outfield, out in center field. But you got to start hitting a little bit, man. You got to start hitting a little bit, or at least getting better ABs. Even if you drive the pitch count up, man, that does a lot. You don't see things like that in the stat sheet, but if you're driving the pitch count up, working your at-bats, And then, you get that pitch kind of, you get the starters out the game earlier. You got a relief guy, maybe get him a little bit out of control, get him out of his flow, And then you got Acuna hitting after you. If they put him in the ninth spot, he's been in the eighth spot lately, but I do think they should put him back in the ninth spot. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But, work your counts, man. If you work the counts, get better at bats, this lineup is going to flow better. And he's a key part of this lineup, man. He has speed. If he gets on the bases, he has some speed, and he could be a threat to steal one, get in scoring position. Acuna comes up, drives you in. Or Nick Allen, he comes after you, he bunts you over. Then Acuna comes, hits a sac fly, or, he gets a hit. That's already 1-run score. So you got to start having better at-bats. Hopefully this break that he's had, gets his mind, a little bit refreshed. And because the Braves are off today. So you didn't play Saturday, you didn't play Sunday. He came in one of the games as the defensive replacement at the end. He didn't get no ABs, though. So we were not really going to count that because he didn't start the game. So you're off Saturday, off Sunday. You're off today. I believe there's a lefty starting the game tomorrow night. So I'm wondering if he's going to start or not. I'm wondering if he's going to start or not. Or if they're going to just say, he's going to be in a platoon now in center field with, possibly Stuart Fairchild. So I wonder how that's going to go. But anyways, we'll see. We'll see starting tomorrow what happens with that. A little bit of exciting news, though. Jerickson Profar, he's set to return on Wednesday from his suspension, his PED suspension. He's eligible to come back on Wednesday. Brian Snitker, he already said that he's going to have him in the middle of the lineup. But I want to know, where would you put him in that lineup? The lineup is struggling to get some offensive flow. So I want to know, where would you have him? The usual lineup is as follows right now, as of this moment. You got Ronald Acuna Jr. leading off. You have Matt Olson batting second. You have Matt Ozuna, Marcell Ozuna hitting third. You got Riley at the cleanup spot that he's also been struggling a little bit. You got the catcher spot batting fifth. Usually you got either Drake Baldwin, the rookie, or Sean Murphy. You got Ozzie Albies batting sixth, another guy that's been struggling. Hopefully he's able to get on a hot streak soon. Then you got the left field spot. It's either Alex Verdugo or Eli White. They're batting seventh. You got Michael Harris the second, batting eighth. And then you have Nick Allen batting ninth. So this is how I would construct this lineup, knowing that Profar is coming back. We know that they've been saying, people have been saying we got to move Acuna a little bit, drop him down a little bit, take him out of the leadoff spot so he can start driving runs in. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to drop him, crazy in the cleanup spot or the third. I'm going to have him batting second. I'm going to have Profar leading off. He usually puts good at-bats together. Hopefully he didn't lose that with the PED thing. I'm going to have Profar leading off. Let me get Acuna batting second. Like that, you still getting your best player to have the most at-bats in the ball game. You put him right there in the second spot. You got Matt Olson batting third. I'm going to put Riley. I'm going to keep him in the cleanup spot batting fourth. I'm going to put Ozuna batting fifth. Then I'll have the catcher spot either, like I said, Drake Baldwin or Sean Murphy batting sixth. I'm going to put Ozzie Albies batting seventh. Put Nick Allen, put him to hit eight. And then Michael Harris the second, put him to lead off. Not lead off. Put him to bat ninth. If he leads off, obviously, you got some speed. If he leads off the inning, you got some speed starting at the top. And then you got Profar batting after him, and then Acuna. That sounds solid to me, bro. I don't know. You let me know in the comments, how would you construct this lineup? But I think this is going to be the lineup that I said it before. I know I said it before. I was like, oh, this is the lineup that's going to get things going when they put Michael Harris finally batting ninth. Then they took him out of there because, it's not working. But anyways, that's how I'm going to have it. That's the lineup I would do. Profar, Acuna, Matt Olson, Riley, Ozuna, catcher spot, Baldwin or Murphy, Albies, Nick Allen, and then Michael Harris the second. And like that, look, Profar is a switch hitter. So you got that. Acuna's righty. Then you got lefty and Olson. The only two back-to-back righties you're going to have is Riley and Ozuna. That's fine. And if you got Sean Murphy, you're going to have three back-to-backs. But if not, if it's a righty pitching, most likely you're going to have Drake Baldwin. So you break that up real quick. Then you got Albies. He's a switch hitter. You got Nick Allen, he's a righty, and then Michael Harris II, he's a lefty. So you're gonna be switching it up most of the time. So I think it's a solid lineup, man. Solid lineup. I think that's the way they should go, but we'll see. And also, I want to know, who do you think is gonna get pretty much dropped when Profar comes back on Wednesday? I mean, I would say there's 4 spots. There's four players that obviously we know one of them has to go. Is Eli White, Stuart Fairchild, Alex Verdugo, or Luke Williams. I feel like Eli White, he's safe. They're not gonna touch him. He got some speed. He could field. He's had some good at bats. He's shown some good ABs. So I feel like he's safe. Fairchild, all he has is speed. Fairchild. Verdugo, what he has going for him, he's a lefty bat. If you want to pinch hit at some point in the game, maybe pinch hit. The only guy you probably pinch hit for at this point is going to be Nick Allen. So you're not going to pinch hit Baldwin. You're not going to pinch hit Murphy. You're not going to take out Murphy to have Alex Verdugo bat for him. You're not going to do that. You're going to have Drake Baldwin come in. So that's not going to happen. I don't think there's no one else here you're going to pinch hit for. So Verdugo is only going to be able to come into the games to pinch hit for Nick Allen. And I don't even think that's that big of a difference, to be honest. Only if you're getting a left or you got a righty coming in and you want Verdugo's lefty bat. That's the only way I see it happening. And then you got Luke Williams. He's the other guy on the possible chopping block. But Luke Williams, listen, he could play infield and outfield. Alex Verdugo can't do that. So if I had to guess who is going to be, sent down or probably DFA'd in his case, it's going to be Alex Verdugo. I would say Alex Verdugo. Let me know who you guys think will be what will be the corresponding move when Jerson Profar is activated from his rehab assignment. So let me know in the comments who you think what the corresponding move is going to be. So anyways, that is it for our Tomahawk Takes portion of this show. And now, well, you know what? Let's just head into our next and second segment of the show.
It's time for the MLB.
It's time for the MLB, where we catch up from the action from across the league. And we had some good series. We always got good series. I always open up like that because there's always good baseball going on around the league. The first series we're going to look at, it was the New York Mets at the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates, they bring out the brooms at home. They sweep the Mets out of town. They sweep them out of town. They win the first game 9-1. Second game 9-2, and then the final game 12-1. The Mets, they held a players only meeting after Saturday's loss. Listen, it didn't work because they came out flat in game number 3. They scored a total of 4 runs in the series. The Pirates, they scored a total of 30 runs. So they pretty much they outscored them badly. And that's not a good sight to see if you're a Mets fan. Frankie Montas, he got rocked in game number 3. He allowed 5 runs in the first inning. That did not help their case. And that was a sweep. So Mets fans, it's not starting to look too good. The good thing is you guys had a good start. That's the key when you have a good start, like the one you had, that you're able to have you're able to afford a bad period of baseball like this. And most teams are going to go through a slide like this. So how are you guys feeling as of right now? I know you guys dropped to second place in the division. We're going to look at the standings shortly. But how do you guys feel about the ball club? Soto's been playing really, really good. But the pitching and just the hitting, man, the hitting is not there as well. So let me know how you guys think. Are you guys still confident in this ball club? I think you guys are going to be okay, but let me know in the comments as well. The second series that we had, it was the Tampa Bay Rays, the hot Tampa Bay Rays at the Baltimore Orioles. And you're thinking the Rays are hot. They're going to take this series, but that's not how it went. The Baltimore Orioles, they win 2 out of 3. They win the first game football score, guys. 22-8. Crazy ball game there by the Baltimore Orioles. The Rays, they end up winning game 2, 11-3. But then the Orioles, they come back in the final game of this series. They win the rubber match of 5-1. That's how they win the series. Next, we go to the Bronx, the Athletics at the New York Yankees. The Yankees coming into this one, they had lost 9 of the last 13 games. But they were able to win this series. They win the first game, shutout, 3-0 victory. Second game, they get shut out. They lose 7-0, but they come back and they win game number 3 of the series, 12-5. That was against Luis Severino, the old friend of the Yankees. Jazz Chisholm, he had himself a game. Aaron Judge, he hits 2 home runs in this ball game. He hit number 30 of the season. That's his 5th career multi-home run game. So good to see from Aaron Judge. He keeps doing his thing. Next, we go to Cincinnati. This was one of the series that I had highlighted before the weekend. This was going to be a good one. 2 teams in the wild card race. You had the Padres at the Cincinnati Reds. Nick Martinez in game 1, he had he was very close to a no-hitter. They won this one 8-1. Second game, Gavin Sheets, he helps the Padres come back in this one with a 3-run homer. The Padres win this one 6-4, and then the rubber matchup, a real close one. The Cincinnati Reds, they walked this one off 3-2. Will Benson, he had a walk-off single with the bases loaded. They secure the series. Next, we go to Cleveland. We're staying in Ohio. The St. Louis Cardinals at the Cleveland Guardians. I was about to say the Seattle Cardinals again. This is probably like the 5th time since I've started this show that I was about to say that. But the Cardinals, St. Louis Cardinals, they sweep the series. They win the first one, a 5-0 shutout. Sonny Gray, 1-hit shutout, 11 strikeouts. Good to see from him. They win the second game as well, 9-6. St. Louis was down 6-1. They were able to rally back from that one. And then they shut out game number 3, 7-0. They bring the Bruins out. Like I said, Arenado in the series, he had his 14th career base hit, 400th career double. So good to see from him as well. Then we go up to Boston, guys, up to Fenway Park. It was the Toronto Blue Jays at the Boston Red Sox. Boston Red Sox, they lose that one 9-0. The first game, they get shut out. They say, yo, hold my coffee real quick. That was New York accent, my bad. Game 2, they said that, just that. They win that one 15-1. They turn off the offense. They say, yo, we're sick and tired of you guys talking about Devers ain't here no more. We can't score any runs. So they put up 15. But then game 3, Toronto Blue Jays, they say, hold up. We them boys, 5-3 victory. They win the series in the AL East rivalry matchup. Then we go to Detroit. Minnesota Twins at Detroit, 4-1 victory for the Twins. They steal the first game, but that was all they could steal because in the second game, the Tigers, they win 10-5. And then game 3 on Sunday night, ESPN ball game, ESPN night game, 3-0. I actually saw this game, and y'all, I got to be honest, I don't really watch Tigers games like that. I really don't, but these guys, man, these guys are looking like a complete ball club. Tarek Skubal, he goes 7 innings, no runs, 1 walk, 1 hit, 13 Ks. He's now 10-2. And again, this guy's phenomenal. This guy, he's a beast, man. This guy's a beast. This team is playing complete baseball, and they're scary, man. If you're in American League, your team's in the American League, you're an AL team fan, you gotta be careful with these guys. These guys are scary, man. Very scary. We go to the Chicago White Sox. They're scary, but in a different way. They were hosting the San Francisco Giants. And I was being sarcastic, but they actually end up winning this series, the White Sox. They lose the first game 3-1, but they come back. They win the second one in a shutout, 1-0. And then the final game of the series to win the series, they win this one 5-2. That was it. And then we go to Texas, man. Texas hosting the Seattle Mariners. This was one that I highlighted during the weekend. And, yo, if you listen to me, I'm right, man. I was right. Close ball games every single game. Extra innings every single game. I had a feeling, guys. I just had a feeling. That's why I highlighted it. First game, the Mariners, they steal this one 7-6. It took 12 innings for that one. Game 2, the Rangers, they walk it off in 10 innings. It wasn't 10 innings. I thought it was 11. Excuse me. Yes, they walk it off in 10 innings, a 3-2 victory. And then game 3, who's going to win this one? It went to extras, like I said. Seattle Mariners, they steal another one, 6-4 in 12. They win the series, a very, very tight series. And, I just thought it was going to go down like that. And the next one that I'm about to say was another one that I highlighted, another AL West team, the Houston Astros. They were hosting the Chicago Cubs, the scary Chicago Cubs. This turned out to be a good series as well. The Astros, they win game number 1, 7-4. Chicago Cubs, they come back. They say, we're about to bang some runs. We're going to bang some cans. Y'all going to bang cans. We're going to bang runs. They did just that. 12-3 victory by the Cubs. But then game 3 of the series, a shutout for the Astros. A 2-0 win. They shut the Cubs out. They send them home. They send them packing. That's how they win the series. Next, we had the Los Angeles Dodgers at the Kansas City Royals. You're thinking probably thinking the Dodgers are going to sweep, but no, they did not sweep. They win the first game 5-4. They lose the second one 9-5, but they win the final game and the series 5-1. Ohtani, he was throwing some heat. This was his longest appearance so far. He pitched 2 scoreless innings. I think he allowed 1 hit. He threw his fastest career pitch in the majors, 101.7 miles per hour. He was throwing some heat, like I said. They round that up to 102. So, yeah, he threw 102. Impressive to see from Ohtani. He's getting close to, being in form fully when it comes down to pitching. Next series we had Colorado Rockies at Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers, they win the first 2, 10-6, and then 5-0. And then in 11 innings, the Rockies, they still won in Milwaukee. They win that one 4-3. That's how the series went down. Next, we had the Washington Nationals at the Los Angeles Angels. The Nationals, they win 15-9 the first game. They lose the second one. Angels win that one 8-2. But then the Nationals, they win the rubber game 7-4 victory and 11 innings. A highlight of the series, James Wood, he's a scary hitter. He got intentionally walked 4 times, and that was the first time since 2004 that someone was intentionally walked 4 times in that ballgame. And if you guessed who it was, Barry Bonds, you are absolutely correct. And then the final series that we need to touch on was the Miami Marlins at the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Marlins, they bring out the brooms, baby, in Arizona on the road. They win the first game 9-8. Second one, 8-7. They win that one in 10 innings. And then the final game, they win 6-4. They might be the hottest team now. They have won 7 games in a row. They look to continue that streak starting this week. So we're going to look at the series that are supposed to start tonight. We got 8 series starting tonight. We got the San Diego Padres at the Philadelphia Phillies. That is one that we're going to highlight. That is going to be between 2 serious National League contenders. We also have the St. Louis Cardinals at the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is another one we're going to highlight. This is going to be a 4-game series. It's your New York Yankees at the Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays trying to see if they could get a little bit closer to first place. They're not that far behind. Depending on how this series goes, they might be in first. After it's all said and done, we'll see. Cincinnati Reds at Boston Red Sox. You got Chase Burns versus Garrett Crochet tonight. That's going to be a good one to see. Young flamethrower Chase Burns and Garrett Crochet. Then you have the Athletics at the Tampa Bay Rays. You got the Baltimore Orioles at Texas. You got a 4-game set between Kansas City Royals and the Seattle Mariners. And you got another 4-game set between the San Francisco Giants and the Arizona Diamondbacks. We can highlight that one. And NL West rivalry is always good to see. And then we got some series that are starting on Tuesday. These are our 3-game sets. We got the Minnesota Twins at the hot Miami Marlins. The Marlins, again, like I said, looking to continue that 7-game winning streak. We got the Detroit Tigers at the Washington Nationals. We got the Milwaukee Brewers at the New York Mets. Highlight that one. 2 serious National League contenders as well. You got the Cleveland Guardians at the Chicago Cubs. You got the Houston Astros at the Colorado Rockies. And last but not least, you got the Chicago White Sox at the Los Angeles Dodgers. We got some news headlines. We had unfortunate news. Dave Parker, he passed away at age 74. He was a 1979 MVP and Hall of Famer. I think he's due to be inducted this July in a few short weeks. So, go watch yourself some Dave Parker highlights. Don't forget the gentleman. We also had the All-Star Futures Game roster that was dropped. It was highlighted by some Tigers prospects. And the good thing is that I was able to see these guys in the prospect game that they do down in spring training. It was Tigers at Braves. And I was able to see a lot of these guys. Max Clark, he's headlining that one. He was there, and the Tigers are good right now, and they got a lot of young prospects coming up. So it's kind of scary to see. They got some ballers, man. They got some ballers coming up. Big kids. They're gonna be doing their thing, man. So before we get into the final segment, let's just look at the standings real quick. Let's look at the standings, see where we go, and then our next episode. Obviously, we still got some games tonight, the last day of June. Our next episode, we're going to see league leaders and who fares where, since it's going to be a brand new month. So let's see. We're going to start with the National League East. The Philadelphia Phillies, they're in first place. They're 49-35. The New York Mets, 48-37, second place, 1.5 games back. The Braves, 38-45, 10.5 games back. The Miami Marlins right behind them, 37-45, 11 games back. And the Washington Nationals, they're not that far behind either from those two teams. The Braves and the Marlins, they're 35-49. They're 14 games back. In the National League Central, we got the Chicago Cubs. They're in first, 49-35. Milwaukee Brewers, 47-37. They're 2 games back. St. Louis Cardinals, 47-38. They're 2.5 games back. Cincinnati Reds, they're playing some good ball. They are 44-40. They're 5 games back. Pittsburgh Pirates, 35-50. They're 14.5 games back. In the National League West, with the best record in the majors, tied with the Tigers, it's the Dodgers. They're 53-32. They're in first place, 7-game lead over the San Diego Padres. And remember, these teams got close to the Dodgers, man, but they got some distance between themselves now. The Padres, again, they're 45-38, 7 games back. The Giants, 45-39, 7.5 games back. Arizona Diamondbacks, they've dropped under 500. They've lost 4 in a row. They are 41-42, 11 games back. And the Rockies are just there. They still have not won 20 games. They're looking for that victory starting this week. American League standings. American League East, you got the New York Yankees in first, 48-35. The Tampa Bay Rays right behind them. They are 47-37. They're 1.5 games back. The Blue Jays, who will be facing the Yankees, as I mentioned, they're 3 games back. They're 45-38. The Boston Red Sox, they've dropped a ton. They're 41-44. They're 8 games back. And the not the Toronto Orioles. The Baltimore Orioles, they're 36-47. They're 12 games back. They're trying to climb themselves back up. Let's see if they could do it, man. There's still plenty of ball left to play. The Tigers with the best record in the American League. And like I said, they're tied with the Dodgers. They're 53-32. They have a nice, comfortable lead. You could give them the division right now, man. I'll go out and say it. You could give them the division right now. None of the teams besides them in the AL Central are over 500, believe it or not. The Cleveland Guardians, 40-42, 11.5 games back. They've lost 4 in a row. Minnesota Twins, 40-44. They're 12.5 games back. Kansas City Royals, 39-45. They're 13.5 games back. Chicago White Sox, they're looking for a win, number 29, starting tomorrow. They're 28-56. I shouldn't read their record, but I did. And then the final division, the AL West, the Houston Astros, 50-34. Seattle Mariners, 43-40. They're 6.5 games back. The LA Angels, we're going to talk about them shortly. 41-42, 8.5 games back. Rangers right behind them, half a game. 41-43 games back. Sorry, 42, not 43 games back. 41-43. They're 9 games back. And the Athletics, 34-52, 17 games back. That's the way the standings go. And I was gonna read wild card, but I won't. It's too early. It's too early for that. just keep an eye on your team and where they're at. Wild card, again, it's too early for that. Maybe in August, mid-August, we could start really going down the standings when it comes to the wild card. But anyways, that's it for the MLB. You're caught up. I'm caught up. Everyone's caught up. Let's head into our next and final segment.
It's time for your Braves forecast.
It's time for the Braves forecast, where we preview the upcoming series for the Atlanta Braves, and that's a series against the Los Angeles Angels. They are coming in to Truist Park. They're 41-42, facing the Braves, who I said they're 38-45. So this Angels team, believe it or not, they're better than you. They're better than you when it comes down to the record. But when you look at the run differential, they're minus 49 in the run differential. They give up a lot of runs. They've given up 408 runs, but they've scored 359 runs. The Braves, they scored 339 runs, but they've given up 327. They have a plus 12 run differential. So, it's those one-run ball games that really, really killed this ball club. I think they lost their 20th or 21st one-run ball game of the season. They're tied, or they might have broken the tie with the Chicago White Sox, the Atlanta Braves. So you flip at least 10 of those games, the record is completely different. But again, like I always say, those games are done. You can't go back in time. It is what it is. You got to keep moving forward. So, yeah, that's a big difference. So, like I said, these guys have a better record than you, but you have a better run differential. They give up a lot of runs. You got to take advantage of the pitching staff. What they do is hit bombs. The Angels hit some bombs. They're tied for third with the Cubs for the most home runs in the league. They have 124 homers. The Dodgers are in first place in that category, 133, and the Yankees are second. When it comes to that, they have 126 homers. So you got to be careful with the pop that they got. You're gonna have to bring out some pop of your own if you're gonna bang out with these kids. So we'll see how it goes. Game 1 is slated for Tyler Anderson. He's 2-5 with a 4.41 ERA. He has a 6.26 ERA on the road. So hopefully that works to our favor in this one. But he's going up against the rookie, the kid, Didier Fuentes. He'll be making his third start. He had 2 rough starts to start his career. He's 0-2 with a 10.8 ERA. But this will be his first home start. Hopefully that changes scenery, being at home, getting some love from the crowd. Hopefully that helps him going in the right direction and get possibly his first career win. Game 2, it'll be Yusei Kikuchi. He is 3-6 with a 2.79 ERA. He's going up against Grant Holmes, who's 4-7 with a 3.70 ERA. Grant Holmes against Kikuchi. This is right now, and I would say is a toss-up. It's a toss-up. Game 1, you got to give it to the Angels, probably. Game 1, you got to give it to the Angels because we don't know how the kid's going to perform. Game 2, starter-wise, you got to probably give it to the Angels, too. I don't know. What do you guys think? I would go Angels. And then Game 3, sheesh. You got to go Angels with this one. You have to. It's Jose Soriano for the Angels. He's 5-5 with a 3.99 ERA. And it's Mr. Jekyll and Hyde for the Braves. Bryce Elder, he's 2-5 with a 5.82 ERA. Man, we really, really miss Chris Sale right now, man. You could tell that now is the time where you really need Chris Sale. But anyways, we'll see how the series goes. Like I said, you got to take advantage of their pitching, the Angels pitching, but you got to be careful with their bats. They have some pop, as I mentioned, number 3 in the league, tied with the Cubs. Excuse me. The Angels, they have won 5 of the last 8. The Braves, they have lost 5 of the last 8. So that's not a good trend to see. We'll see if we can flip that real quick and get some momentum going in our favor. Again, remember, I mentioned in the previous episode, this is the longest home stretch for the Braves, 9 games in a row at home. You already have the first 3. You lost 2 out of 3 against the Phillies. You're going to have the Angels starting tomorrow, and then you got the Orioles that you're going to host. So this is a great opportunity. Again, another golden opportunity to be able to try and climb back up. Got to try and climb back up in the standings. The first way to do it is trying to get to 500. The Braves are back where they started, being 7 games under. Again, they're 38-45. They had that 7-game losing streak to start the season. That's where they are again. 7 games under again. So we'll see how they do. Thank you guys for tuning in. Yo, leave some comments, man. Leave some comments. Leave reviews on the podcast platforms. Leave some comments on the YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Don't be shy, man. Leave some comments. Let me know your thoughts. If I said something crazy, correct me. Let me know. Continue to share the show. If you have anyone that's a Braves fan, anyone that's a baseball fan, pass this show along. I'm sure they're going to enjoy it, and the show is going to just keep getting better and better because that's how we do. So anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate your time, and we will see you next time.